his command. He is not eating in a gentlemanly fashion. It's like he's born on a farm as an animal.
And sorry.
I was just going to ask, sorry. Miss Carter, how did things go with the police? I know you were trying to smooth things over a bit with them.
Well, the police force was definitely agreeable to the donations that we made. Unfortunately, Inspector Barnes still does not trust us in our intentions.
So it will take time.
Yes, it will definitely take time. We actually might have to include him in something to persuade him in a stronger manner that our methods are required.
I could always help in persuading him next time, perhaps. I've been busy for the last year or so trying to get my head in order, but I'll be available to help next time you wish to try and smooth things over with the police.
That would be appreciated, yes.
I am actually good friends with Dr. Peterson as well.
Why does he take such a dubious view of... I know there's the fires and shootings and all that, and, but he never had to kill a werewolf. He never had to try to rescue somebody who was kidnapped by an insane cult. I don't understand why he judges us so harshly. He literally called upon us to do the things that he didn't have the skill or talent to do. This is probably why I won't be there when you have this conversation with him, because I'd like to wring his scrawny neck.
To be honest, I'm not exactly sure why. But I think it has something to do with the fact that he doesn't honestly know exactly what we're dealing with and the extremes that might need to be taken.
I believe he might have got a lot of attention and pressure after the death of Earl Grey. I believe that stirred up a lot of things with the people above him within the police force and those the police report to. I think that caused him a lot of problems, and he's still not happy about what happened with that.
I'm very sympathetic towards the guy who wasn't there when we all almost died.
He wasn't exactly aware that Earl Grey was the leader of the Black Pharaoh cult, and our hands were tied in what we could do with that. And the presence of a werewolf.
I definitely apologize for the whole werewolf thing. I kind of forgot that you wanted to put the necklace on the werewolf, so I'm just going to apologize for that again. And back to the skills.
Well, he'll come around. He knows that the stuff that we do is necessary, and I think it'll take him a while, and I'm not that worried. We shouldn't be putting a lot of stock into him right this time, but otherwise.
It's at this time that you hear a knock at the front door, and the sound of James going to check and answer up who's there. And a moment later, James steps into the library. Well, he knocks on the door first, then enters. There is a woman at the door who says her name is Mrs. Barnes. She's asking to see you.
Yes. See me specifically, or?
She said she was here to see the Esoteric Society.
Show her in. We'll bring some fresh tea for her.
right away. And James disappears for a moment, and then returns with a woman dressed head to toe in black crepe fabric. With this heavy, long-sleeved black morning dress.
As she enters the room, Dr. Davenport will stand up and, good day, Mrs. Barnes.
Good
I'll
morning,
stand as well.
yes.
Morning. Trigger too.
Good
Sorry.
morning.
Yes, sorry to call on you without any warning. I apologize.
Is everything well?
No. No, things are not
Please
well.
have a seat.
Thank you. I'm here about my husband. I believe you knew him? Howard.
Inspector
Howard
Barnes?
Yes. Inspector Barnes, yes.
You said knew him. Has something happened to him?
Yes.
I'm sorry to be so direct. It's I should really introduce myself as well.
Fair question.
I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Pauline Barnes.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you hadn't heard. My husband's dead.
That's dreadful news. He was a perfect gentleman.
Yes.
He did his job well. Was it in his line of duty?
Not officially, no, but I think so. Yes. That's why I'm here. You see, I went through his things, his diaries and his papers after he died, and there was a note a reminder to himself he planned on visiting you. But it seemed, never got the chance.
Why don't you tell us from the beginning?
Yes. Yeah, I think I saw you last. I don't think we ever got properly introduced, but last month at the police benefit, we crossed paths then. And I remember my husband then pointing you out to me, and he'd mentioned the society before, only briefly. He didn't really say exactly what you do, only that it was somehow connected to his work. And
We are investigators of a sort.
And that he'd worked with you in the past, but I don't know, Howard wasn't afraid of many things, but I got the impression that there was something he was afraid of, something you were involved with. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting off topic here. Where to start? So, my husband, he was looking into a case, a murder, happened over in Wapping. Slightly odd case, which is why Howard got involved. I don't know much about the ins and outs of it. He doesn't talk about his work much with me, but all I know is he was going to meet someone that one evening after work, and he never came back. And then a couple of days later, they pulled his body out of the river. That was, well, I guess last week now.
Was there anything about that in the paper?
It's not really, didn't really make a headline or anything. I mean, the police are saying it was possibly an accident. There's no evidence that they're trying to say he might have fallen in, or worse. I don't think... I think someone murdered my husband.
From what I know of Inspector Barnes, he's not the sort of person who'd fall in the river.
No. They pulled his body out just 2 days ago. Not had the funeral yet, but...
Do you have his notes on his case?
Some of them. They went through the house and took some of his case files, but I got his personal notes, his diary, and some of his notes from the case. We just this. She pulls out like a small black notebook and a leather-bound diary. She places the notebook down on the table. He wrote brief notes on all his cases. These are the last case. These are... Probably shouldn't have taken this, but
Good that you did.
It'll help us.
Yeah.
And on another similar line of work, Franco Branisi actually writes for one of the papers. So I'm sure he could write a very nice piece about Inspector Barnes to ensure that it is something respectful and in recognition of his deeds, I suspect, in his work.
I'm currently thinking about why I did not hear about this earlier. Because an inspector of his station being found in the river is usually something for the papers. I mean, it's not like he was some no-name.
I mean, there might have been a brief line somewhere in the death, but as they only pulled him out 2 days ago, and I think they're still investigating things.
In which case, the chances are his body will still be at the morgue, I'm guessing. So I could always visit Dr. Peterson there and see if I can find any information, and he might actually be aware of who's trying to prevent details being released, because he may have been warned by the same people. It just sounds like someone higher up is keeping things quiet.
Maybe these are this one's his diary. He didn't keep it's not a journal. He just makes notes of appointments and what he had planned. Things he was going to do, places he was going to go. Not a very loquacious man, my husband.
Did he... And my name is Augustus Green. Again, I'm so terribly sorry for what's befallen you, but was he acting differently leading up to the time of his demise?
He seemed worried, scared, but he often seems worried and stressed and scared. He hides it well, but it goes with the job. But he was worried about something he'd found. I remember him pacing back and forth around the house, because he muttering himself, and then he said he'd have to visit the society, and he didn't seem pleased by the idea of getting you involved. But I couldn't think of who else to go to. I mean, you're in his diary. Clearly this was going to be his next step, and he's not here to take it, so this is the best I can think of to do. You're very courageous, and you are appreciated. Thank you. She takes a sip of tea and just sits quietly for a moment. No, thank you. Scrumptious.
Well, we will do everything that we can to find the source of his death, his murder, because this is obviously not an accident. I am sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
We'll do our best to get to the bottom of this case, and if there's anything you should need, feel free to contact us. We'll help if we can.
Well,
If there's indeed somebody putting a lid on all this, we'll, make sure that that information is far and wide known as far as, possible.
I mean, I don't want to make a. I just want to know who killed my husband, and I want them brought to justice. And I want to know why. I mean, I probably know why. He got too close to something not that he shouldn't have done, but that he should have done. It was his job.
When you say justice, you mean like brought, arrested, trial, that sort of thing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I pull out a notebook and I make a very specific note of that and put it back in my pocket. Thank you.
Is there anything else I can do? Sorry, I'm very new to this idea of private investigators or whatever you are, and I've been much involved with that.
If we needed to come by and see his office or study at some point, I doubt that we would, but if that was something that we needed to do, would you be amenable to that?
Yeah, she jots down an address. This is where we live, or this is where I live. I've got funeral planning stuff to do, but otherwise I will be in. Just call by, send someone if you have any other questions. I want answers. I want to know.
Of course.
And if you find anything, please tell me.
We will keep you in the loop. We don't make promises of results. We make promises of effort. We will get our best effort.
Okay. Well, thank you. I have appointments. Funeral directors. Thank you for the tea and thank you for the offer of scones. They look delicious.
If she gets up to leave, I will walk with her to the door.
Okay.
Please know that if there's anything that we can do to help, aside from what you've requested of us, we would be glad to help.
You have been very, very generous already. Benevolent fund. Never didn't expect to be calling on it anytime soon, but thank you. We had savings to keep the house up and running and keep the children clothed. None of that's a worry.
Oh. I am sad to say that our society and Inspector Barnes did not see eye to eye on a couple of matters, and that was our falling out, and I believe that might have been why he did not come to us sooner for the case that he is on. So I'm sorry for that. If there's anything at all,
I will let you. Thank you. I will let you know. with that, she leaves.
I return to the library.
Well, that was, man, I feel horrible. I'm just bashing this guy, and then he's dead. Oh, well, what can you do? Anyway, I've been looking forward to doing this because I haven't seen you in so long. And I look dead at Franco. Franco! And I run and I just pick you up by the shoulders and I shake you. How are you, my good boy? I've missed you so much. How's your brother?
Leave me in one piece, please.
Oh, forgot you're very frail. How's your brother? I set you down.
He's been fine when I last saw him, like a couple of weeks ago.
Not in jail? Not getting caught like a bad crook?
Not as far as I know of. I've been, sending a couple of bucks this way, so he's not, getting into the situation to have to do stuff like that.
Yeah, well, let him know that if my agency keeps doing well, I might hire her.
I will.
Good.
But yeah, he's doing fine. I'm not too sure what he's up to, but
nothing good. Absolutely nothing good. I know.
I'm pretty sure I don't want to know.
No, you don't. You don't.
But otherwise, yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing now?
Yeah. Well, this sounds like it's going to be an interesting case. We've got a lot of places we need to check out to get answers.
Yes.
Looking at these notes here, we have an incident at the Red Lion in Wapping about a body that the throat had been cut and the heart was missing. There's information here about Albrook and the library. There's a few notes about someone with the initials HP as well, and something about VP LUH. That'll be Dr. Peterson, I'm guessing.
Was that the gentleman from the incident? If you remember, you, me, our counterpart, mansion that we burned down, werewolf, whatever happened to that guy, by the way?
The person who was thrown at the werewolf.
Well, there's two people. Like, there was the guy that we dropped off at the hospital.
No, not that person. Dr. Peterson, he works at the morgue. So it looks like Inspector Barnes had wanted to meet with him to talk to him about the body. So I'm quite happy to chase up that lead. There's for some reason he went to the library. So we might be needing someone to go to the library to check.
No, I'd be glad to do that.
And
here, let me see the notes from the incident. I'm going to pick up his workbook journal that has the notes from the murder. Who wants to go to the Red Lion?
I mean, I can do that if you guys are cool with it.
Is the Red Lion the place where we most likely need muscle?
Probably.
I think it will be.
That's where the murder was.
Gotcha, because I'm useless at a library. I can barely read.
Yes.
We all know Franco needs as much help as he can get.
Oh, Franco, I'll keep you safe.
I'm just gonna fall down something again. It's fine.
But I will grab you, Franco. It's not that you fall; it's that you get up. Hopefully in one piece.
It looks like the person who died, missing his throat cut, he had been in an argument with a person that had gone upstairs with him. So we might need to find the man he went upstairs with. all we have here says here he was seen entering the room along with bearded man on the evening of the 25th. Neither were seen leaving. So it's possible that the bearded man left through a window. Might need to ID who he is.
It wasn't me. I know what it looks like. It wasn't me.
There's multiple people with beards.
Also, the beard tends to be quite common as a disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Easy to do. But there's also mention here in his notes about a telegram had been found at the scene. It says basically, meet me at the Red Lion, 25th, HP. And I think that was the day before the murder. But also in Inspector Barnes' diary, he met with someone, or was arranging to meet with someone with those same initials on May the 3rd. So I'm curious who that is, whether that is the bearded person.
It's
If you
possible.
want, I can... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's possible that's who it is. And it looks like the 25th was the day of the murder, the evening of. Because he was called on the 26th.
If you want, I can maybe ask around in my old world and see if anybody knows anything about this. Although I'm dubious to that prospect, just because, you know, in my old world, if someone gets the throat cut, they keep their heart. They just owed gambling money, so to speak. But maybe we can do that after we go to the Red Lion, eh, Franco?
Sure.
Okay.
I get for people to talk. That's not a problem.
Did we wish to split up to go to these places, or go to these places as a group?
I think it'd be easier if we covered more ground separated. If I can either go to the library, or I can go with you to visit Dr. Peterson, and then we can both go to the library and find what we might be looking for.
That'll be a good option. Rather than split us up to be on our own, to stay in pairs, at least for this part. Also means we'll get the information quicker, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Franco and Augustus going to the Red Lion, and Maddie and Mortimer going to the morgue. So we'll start off with a little trip over to Wapping and to this slightly damp and crumbling looking pub near St. Catherine's docks in Wapping. This is a far cry from the dignified world of the Esoteric Society and Grosvenor Square. Over here we see, you know, cramped alleyways, filth running down the streets. It's a deeply unpleasant place with this mixed smells of sewage and also like the dock waters, the smell of the river, the heady smell of the Thames. Unpleasant, and yet there's just almost that hint of, at least to Franco, that hint of almost like seawater that just, there's just something, even with the grey waters of the river, there's that little tiny part at the very far back of your mind that thinks it would be an excellent idea to go swimming. But it's a very tiny voice and has no power over you. And we see the Red Lion, a very badly painted sign hanging on a hook outside, painted by someone who possibly saw a lion once at a great distance whilst not wearing their glasses, and has attempted to replicate that with a very gaudy shade of red paint. And as you go in, you see, you know, it's getting up to noon now, and there's a few people in there already drinking. This whole place has this kind of slightly seedy air of the kind of place Augustus would be familiar with. This is the kind of place where dodgy deals get done.
Do I recognize anybody?
Make me a look roll.
Okay.
And the question is, do you want to recognize anyone?
Actually, I would be kind of indifferent to that. Is it the green or the purple?
The green one. Green roll on luck, please. Yeah, you see a couple of familiar faces. No one you've got any kind of outstanding grudges or blood feuds with. You see... I mean, you've possibly stuck your head in here and twice. You see a working girl who goes by the name of Kitty, who is perched at one end of the bar. And you see a dock worker named John. Whether that's his real name or not, no one's entirely sure, but his name's John, and he hauls boxes and carries stuff down at docks without asking any questions.
Which would I trust one of them more than the other?
Both of them are the kind of people that provide information for money. Neither of them are trustworthy people per se, as in, if you give them money, they'll give you a hand. If someone else gives them more money, they'll probably snitch on you.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is what I'll do. You said the working girl, her name was Kathy?
Kitty.
Kitty.
At least that's what she calls herself.
Kitty. Franco, let me work. Kitty.
I'm not working at the moment.
It's Augustus Green.
Oh, all right.
God, it's like,
What the fuck you want?
Your wonderful company. No one wants that. I have questions that I need answered. You know anything about the guy who got and then
Yeah, cut right across the throat.
Yeah,
Heart
that's
wrenched
why
out,
I did
I
that.
heard.
Yeah. What'd you hear?
Well, heard he was from out of town. No one around here seems to know who he was. Someone ripped his heart out. I'm thinking it's like the Ripper come back, but only this time he's like specifically just doing hearts.
And this victim was
Or it's a new one.
a male or a
Yeah,
female?
but he's diversifying and all that.
Oh, you know what? You should let the police force know about that. I think you're really on something. And I'm going to take out a small sum of money that is congruent with the crappy amount of information that she just gave me and hand it over to her. You know anything else?
I mean, the police came round, asked a bunch of questions. Tell you the same thing I told them. Chap came in looking all furtive-like, blonde fella, kind of skinny.
Okay. You writing this down, Franco? This is my
sure.
Franco.
Sure.
Not local. Cornish, maybe? Dunno. Not an accent I really knew.
Okay.
Anyway, some guy with a big beard, quite a nice coat.
How many fingers did he have? Was he missing any fingers?
I'm not missing any fingers. The other, big guy, big fancy fellow, like comes over and they kind of, whispering away and then disappear upstairs. Some kind of deal. I don't know what. Anyway, someone said they heard them arguing later. I wasn't here then. Next morning, maid finds the body. When she came to kick out because no one had checked out of the room.
I'm gonna give her a little bit more money, because that was at least coherent and not craziness. And I'm gonna go. You are you're you. And Franco, we're gonna go chat with Doc Worker now. It was nice to meet you, Kitty. Or Franco, Kitty.
Yeah, I'll have another gin.
Bye. Yeah, and I'm gonna go find that worker, John.
Okay, as you sidle over to John, who sat sort of morosely staring into a pint, as though he's hoping to find answers here in it.
John, you morose bastard, how are you?
Shit.
Yeah, you've not done well. But we can always do better.
Yeah, I
You
think
heard
I can help
anything?
with that. I'm just gonna go to the bar and grab a couple of pints. And go get those.
Not seen you around here for a while, Augustus?
Yeah, I've decided to make something of it, so we'll see how well that goes.
What brings you back down here?
Murder, which is what originally brought me here, but in a wildly different context, which we will not talk about. The statute of limitations for murder do not run. Anyway, what did you hear?
About murder here? Some weird shit. I mean, people get stabbed around here all the time. Throats cut,
Yes.
bodies dumped in the river. That's not surprising, but go around nicking someone's heart? That's weird shit. That's
It is. It is weird shit.
Not sure why someone would want to do that. I mean, you hear about doctors nicking stuff, bodies and parts and things, maybe.
John, I know that you're very sad, and I know that you're a raging alcoholic like all of us, so I don't want to necessarily divorce you from your fine drink. So do you know anything specific, or know anyone who might know anything specific?
I mean, the maid what found the body, her name's Nell.
Okay. Very good, very good, very good.
I was in the bar that night, and I did catch the chaps talking to each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about the victim.
Might have heard a
You know
name.
anything about the victim? Oh, well, you know what? And damn it, John. I don't want to give you money because you're just going to drink it. But
I might have forgotten the name. Drink would really clear my mind, bring it back into focus.
I know. And you see, John, about 8 months ago, I would just punch you in the face and you gave me the name.
Well, that's really going to help me forget.
John, I could make you sing. Anyway, I am a different Augustus. I am a good man. So I'm going to give you a little bit of money, and it's going to help with your memory.
All right. Another pint. Just let it percolate. Let the memory come back.
Oh, John.
Hmm.
John.
The blonde guy got here first, sat down. When the other guy came, he kind of looked around, looked like he was looking for someone. And then he sat down, he said, you Quentin Matthews?
Franco, you writing that down?
Sure.
Thank you, Franco.
Blonde guy just kind of nods. I didn't catch what was said next, but it was something like, did you bring it? Didn't know what it was, but...
Very good. John, I want you to know something. You've always been a better person than you think you are. And it's going to be okay.
Alright.
And I'm done with you. Goodbye. And I'm going to go see if I can find Nell, the maid. And I'm going to do that by yelling, "No!"
Okay, as you yell this, everyone in the party just bar just turns around to stare at this large man attracting a lot of attention.
I know all of you know better than to stare at me. As you were. I'm still Augustus.
Make me an intimidation check.
I love it when you say that.
One day you might fail one of these.
I think I have.
Yes, you might be Augustus, but also if you look around, you see several other heavy-set men in the Red Lion, and you realise that this is a part of town. There might only be one Augustus Green. There are many men cut from the same cloth of Augustus Green, and they don't like their drinking disturbed.
I'm gonna spend some can I spend some luck points?
You can spend 4 luck.
I'm gonna spend 4 luck just for my pride.
But yeah, they turn back around, turn back to their drinks, and this like greasy hairs, quite skinny young girl, probably only about 14 or so, pops her head out, goes, "Yeah?"
Hey, love. My name is Augustus. This is Franco. He's a very fancy gentleman. I am a scumbag, as you probably have quite figured out. We have some questions about a nasty bit of business that you encountered a while ago. We're investigators.
I already spoke to the police.
Right, no. We're not the police. We're useful. So I will compensate you for your time. And because I paid Sad Sack John over there, and I paid Kitty, not for that. So you will definitely be compensated as well. If you're not comfortable with it, I respect that.
Yeah, no.
We're trying to help somebody. Franco, you can tell I've changed. I'm a new man, Franco. I'm going to give her more money. I'm going to give her as much money as I gave Kitty and John.
No one had come down. We tend to kick people out if they haven't paid for 2 nights. Went up to, clean out the hearth. Chuck them out because they haven't paid for any longer. And there it was, blood everywhere, body on the floor. Like, still wearing all his clothes and everything. But someone ripped open his shirt and ripped open his chest. I didn't stick around really. Called for my boss and he sent for the police. Because you gotta draw the line somewhere, and that ain't right. But
do you I know you spoke to the police. Did you speak to anybody else about this?
The police were trying to keep the reporters away. Someone came round yesterday asking about it. But they've been trying to keep it out of the papers, to be honest.
Very good. Has anyone else come around other than us and the police, come around asking about that?
Oh, there was that other chap. Day before yesterday. Smart dressed. Didn't give me a name. Said he was with the police, but not in uniform.
Did he call himself an investigator?
Yeah, he said he was investigating it, yeah. Gave me some cash, asked me the same questions you did.
Barnes?
Didn't give me a name.
I'm going to describe Barnes. Franco, actually, would you take care of this for me?
No, that wasn't him. That was the police officer. One who was there first. The guy.
Oh. Describe the guy?
This was some other guy. This, thin moustache, kind of going bald on top. Talked very slow and I was stupid.
You're not stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of smelled funny.
Like sulfur?
No. what do you call it? Like mothballs and cleaning stuff.
That's helpful. Thanks a lot.
Right, well, I got some got cleaning to do, glasses to wash.
Hey, if anybody asks you any questions, anyone other than us, it's just best to play dumb, okay? Just take care of yourself, all right?
All right. And she disappears in the back.
Okay. I was going to ask her if we could maybe go up and inspect the room.
Someone's using it.
Oh, that is foul. This is definitely my side of town.
Oh,
Okay.
What? It was like days ago.
Yeah, sure. All right. Rico, you got anything else, my man?
hey, now, do you like painting?
It's all right, I suppose.
I mean, I didn't get anything, big there, but I'd give her like a couple of colorful writing implements that my brain doesn't correctly translate right now. And I mean, she's like 14 or something. I assumed that might be something that she'd not be able to pay for herself.
I took some away. Thanks.
And yeah, thanks a lot. No, yeah, I don't have anything additional. Augustus did everything pretty well.
Franco, I need to confess something to you.
What?
I need to confess something to you, Franco.
What do you need to confess, Augustus? What did you do?
One time,
Yeah?
your brother got on my nerves, and I punched him in the stomach really hard. And he vomited all over my shoes. So then I kicked him in the ribs. That's why I took that charge for him out of guilt and spent a month in jail. I'm sorry for hitting your brother, Franco.
Look, you should probably go and apologize to my brother for that one.
No, fuck no. I spent a goddamn month in jail. That's the problem.
To be honest, I'm probably just sad that I didn't see it happening.
Yeah, he is not a hard man. He is a good man, not a hard man. Anyway, enough about reminiscing. We got to go do detective work, investigative work. I don't know. Maybe I'll drink. This is the only good stuff I've ever done in my life.
You can get out there. I'm pretty sure. You're doing fine.
Yeah. Kind of miss hitting people. I need to be better.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, as the two of you head out of the Red Lion and off out of Wapping, we go over to the hospital, where Mortimer and Maddie are paying a visit to Dr. Peterson down in his basement lair, otherwise known as the morgue. As you head down in the overwhelming smell of sort of formaldehyde and death mingled together. You kind of pointed along towards where Peterson is, currently at his desk, sort of going over his notes, not sort of jotting a few things down, not currently engaged in slicing anybody's apart. Mortimer, Miss Carter, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Good morning. How have you been?
Not too bad recently. Things are coming along nicely. All's well here. Well, as well as it can be.
We've been asked to look into a couple of strange matters you may have heard about.
Which strange matters in particular?
You mean there's more than one?
I think I know which one you're talking about. Would it be our heartless friend that got brought in the other week?
Yes, that was an unusual one. But also Inspector Barnes.
Poor
which I
Howard.
believe was being kept quiet.
Not quiet so much as, sad business.
We heard he was fished out of the river.
Yes. Drowned.
Did you look inside?
I did, yes. Lungs full of river water. But seeing as he was
No
fished
crustaceans?
out of... no crustaceans this time, no.
Nothing unusual about him then, or?
Not really. I mean, I would say from looking at the body that the cause of death seems to be drowning. No signs of a struggle. And they found him in the river. It does
Just
seem like
seems-
this one is not strange, at least on my end.
It just sounds strange knowing what I know about Inspector Barnes, that an accident like that would happen to him.
Even the most careful people can slip or fall. I mean, maybe he was pushed and they just didn't get a chance to fight back.
Perhaps, but you mentioned this body that was missing the heart.
Oh yes, that one. Much more exciting. Would you like to come and see?
I wouldn't mind. How about yourself, Miss Carter?
Yes. Let's have a look and see what's unusual about this one.
Yes, I have it a little while. I've been keeping it cool, but it's not looking its best. But come on, come along. Right. Just mind where you step. Just knock over things.
I
What do
will.
you think I'm suggesting? I keep it clean down here.
You do a very good job with that.
Yes.
I
You're
will
very
do what I
professional.
can
And
to
he
keep my skirts out of the way.
takes you through. Essentially, pulls out the drawer with this.
What I'll do, I'll pass Miss Carter whatever the equivalent of as not smelling salts as such. That's something you can put under your nose to prevent the smell hitting you as much.
Maddie will gladly take that.
I'll use it as well, although it might not be as much of a problem. I've seen some strange things in the morgue here.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, Maddie, bonus die for the cost, but give me a Constitution roll. Just
That's a success.
yeah. You've seen worse. You've had dealt with worse, and smells not too bad. I'm not going to ask for a sanity roll at this point for dead bodies. I think at this point everyone's seen at least one dead body. Probably about 5. But this one is very pale and clammy looking. It's been in the, not exactly freezer, but ice. Don't know where we're at with body refrigeration techniques. Not been kept cool, but not like fully up to modern standards. You can see this. It's been stripped of all of its clothing with just like a little modesty sheets laid over. And you can see there's definitely this large hole in his chest where something has ripped open the skin and torn out the heart. You can also see other cut marks where incisions have been made by Peterson.
It doesn't look as if the heart was removed surgically. It looks like it was ripped out.
It doesn't look surgical. It looks fairly brutal and aggressive the way it was removed. You can also see this deep slash across the throat, almost to the bone. This was done.
Or for the one across the throat, does it have clean edges or does it look rough?
Clean edges. Looks like a deep.
So
clean
it was used
slice.
with a sharp knife or something of the like.
Yeah. So there you see him, poor unfortunate nameless gentleman. But there's more.
More?
See, I mean, setting aside this gentleman's rather untimely demise, this poor fellow wasn't in the best of health beforehand.
What do you mean?
see muscle you see wasting away. Like this sort of bulging eyes. It's just
Sort of like dehydration, perhaps?
not so much dehydration, but deformation of some form. Something was up with him before he ended up killed. It's nothing I've really seen before.
Wouldn't be something along the lines of like malaria or something like that?
No, as I said, it's nothing I've seen before, but something was wrong with him. I've been trying to go through the books looking for other accounts of, since I got the body, and especially since Howard came by asking questions about it. He was...
Keeper, I want to check something about the wound itself, which might be a bit strange. I want to see whether there's evidence of, well, where the heart was ripped out, evidence of like scratches of like fingernails or claws, or whether it looks like it was completely clean. Basically, I'm trying to see if a force ripped
Make me a medicine roll.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if a force ripped it out or a physical hand ripped it out. That's what I'm getting at.
I'd like to assist. I'm going to definitely look closer if it's possible to assist.
Do you have medical experience that might be of interest?
I have a little bit of medicine.
I'm going to say, Maddie, you got a higher bar to pass. Yours would probably be a spot hidden or a medicine. You can either make a medicine with a normal bar, or it's a harder one for spot hidden. I think.
Oh, I'll use spot hidden.
That's
hard.
So Maddie, as you're peering over, you can see like the ribs cracked and broken as some great force like ripped at them. Mortimer, you are able to sort of examine this in real extreme detail. This is an extreme success on a medicine roll as you peer closer. There's no evidence. It doesn't look like any blade was used to like cut or slice where the heart was taken out. And you can't see any sort of hair marks, almost like fingernails or claws.
Yeah.
It almost looks like
it was pulled out by force.
The heart came, the force almost came from within and like pushed outwards, without any kind of, not without like claws prizing it, more as like just a pure just shifting of flesh outwards, if that makes sense.
It does. It looks like it was pulled out by a force rather than ripped out physically.
Yes, it does.
Keeper, is there any skin left, or is there a gaping hole missing of skin? Like, can you fold the pieces back together to seal it, or...?
You'd be able to fold the pieces back together, yes. There might be a few shreds missing, but...
Well, this is a bit strange. There's no evidence around this wound of scratches or incisions that would make me think that the heart was removed. It looks like it just burst out of the gentleman's chest.
And on this topic of, as you're starting to stare closer and see this detail, this is when I am going to ask for a sanity roll from both of you. Because this is an unsettling thing of, oh, this is something weird. This is...
That's a success.
Here we go again. Maddie, you don't lose any sanity. Mortimer, you lose a point of sanity. So it's just that little niggling, oh, here we go again sense. Wrongness.
Dr. Peterson, how brittle are his bones?
More brittle than an ordinary person's. If we're talking either malnutrition or something else, looking away.
Because I've noticed the bones here at the ribs, they're definitely broken. It doesn't look like it's a clean break. Yes. Wouldn't you say, Dr. Davenport? It's not a clean break. But how difficult would it be for anything to pass through his bones?
I mean, you'd need to be very strong to break human, even with weaker bones. Like, break bones like that. It's nothing I've seen before in that style without... I mean, I've seen plenty of broken bones. I've seen people hit by trains, people hit by ships, carriages, fall from high buildings. I've seen a lot of broken bones, but I'd expect these kind of break-ins if someone had hit him in the head with a sledgehammer. But it doesn't seem right for what I'm seeing here. As I said, it's an odd one. I love the odd ones.
You do. You always get the strange ones.
Well, it's just the way now that whenever anything odd goes in there, I'll send that down to Victor. And down to Victor it comes.
It is certainly interesting. Keeper, is the body's probably too far gone for me to be able to identify any sort of wasting illness, I'm guessing.
Probably, yes, because
it's been in the cooler.
There's death as well as wasting, but you can definitely see with that previous extreme success, what Peterson was pointing out is he looks like he was unwell before he died.
Worse than he should be.
Like this pallid skin, sort of like it's the wasting of muscles, but also things that just don't seem quite right. He's slightly too large, sort of bulging eyes now, sort of sunken in, a little with decay, but it's a wrongness to the body, something not quite human.
Well, this is certainly an interesting one for us to look into.
Was the heart the only thing that was missing?
As far as I can tell, yes. All his other organs seem to be intact.
Did you have any paperwork with him that you noticed anything, any identification, nothing?
Nope. He is a mystery.
Well, if we find out a name, we'll let you know. At least it may help you with some fashion.
Oh yeah, I can write it on the tag.
Exactly.
Right, well.
Should really leave you, I'm guessing, unless there's anything else, Miss Scott, you think we could ask about?
No, I don't think so. If you're still observing his body and anything else comes up that's unique, would you let us know?
Oh yeah, I'm going to try and keep it as long as I can, but at some point they make me throw them out.
Or bury them.
Well, that's the same difference. I've got a dim view on me digging them up again, so I consider them thrown out.
At least if we can find out a name, perhaps his family will deal with it.
Perhaps that, yes.
And give them some closure.
Well, it was lovely to see you again. Thank you for dropping by.
It's always fun. You always have interesting things here.
Yes. And as you depart the morgue, I think this is as good a time as any to go on a quick 10-minute break. So we'll see you back in 10 minutes' time. And we are back. So, our investigators have been investigating the death of Inspector Howard Barnes and, by sort of association, the case he was investigating before his death. Franco and Augustus have just been over in Wapping, talking to witnesses at the scene of the first murder. Death of a man they've now got a name for, Quentin Matthews. Meanwhile, Mortimer and Maddie visited a friend of the society, Dr. Peterson, over at the morgue, and got a delightful viewing of a dismembered corpse. Everyone's favourite morning activity. So the question is, after your visits, where are people going next?
I believe Maddie and Mortimer were going to head to the library afterwards.
By that, I assume the British Library?
Yes. Assuming that's the one that Inspector Barnes generally visited.
You don't know.
We'll find out afterwards.
And Franco and Augustus, where are you headed?
Franco would like to see. Did we find out? Do we know where the body was removed from? Where the body was found on the Thames?
Oh. You hadn't asked.
We hadn't asked. Who could we ask to find out where the body was found? Augustus, what do you think? You know the guys down at the river a bit better than I do.
Well, honestly, we might just want to mosey on down there.
Yeah, I think most bodies show up in a certain area, where the river's making a slight turn.
Unless you use cement, yeah.
So either we look in there, or we trying to find the place where he fell in.
Well,
but that
Franco,
would be difficult.
You want to flip a coin, or what's your gut instinct tell you? You're a journalist.
We could just try and ask the cops.
You should do that. I should be nowhere near the cops.
That's true. Oh well.
You could well, I mean, we could. You seem to know an area where the body might have turned up. Theoretically, we could go do that. And if that's a bust, then we could just rely on my contacts, and maybe I'll stumble into somebody else that I know. We really should have asked. We really should have asked where the body was. I got really honed in on the Red Lion body.
That's fine. I didn't think about it back when we saw as well. So
yeah, I didn't think to ask a widow where precisely her husband's corpse was found.
Yeah, pretty sure that she probably didn't ask herself because it's normally not relevant information.
Or if we honestly, Franco, one thing we could do that would be more guaranteed to at least have access is if she gave us that address, we could go check in on his house and study. Why don't you do that? Because that might be safer, because if we're going around where the body might have been found, there might be some more cretins or villainous activity. We might need a full party for that. But surely the abode is safe.
True. Let's go visit the lady.
Yeah, let's go visit the lady. I'll let you do most of the talking, because
I'm fine with you talking as well. You did quite well in the tavern.
I could talk to people from but you're the fancy word guy. You talk to the fancy people.
I'm the fancy word guy. How times changed, huh? How times changed. But
and I'm a proper gentleman.
Exactly.
Okay, so you two are going over to visit Mrs. Barnes. And the other two are headed over to the British Library. So we'll go first to the British Library as you arrive outside the building. And you've got contacts there. So are you going to your contacts? Are you going to the reception? Are you wandering the stacks? What's your approach here?
Before we go in, I'd like to mention something to Miss Carter. Miss Carter, looking over Inspector Barnes' diary, I recognise some of the names. Albrook and the CB, that'll be Charles Belfont, won't it? Is that the sanatorium he was in? Actually, I
Here.
visited the place as well.
Is that
didn't I?
correct?
Yes, Albrook Sanatorium in Brighton is where Charles Belfont was last time you saw him.
So that could be the CB in his notes.
Mhm.
I think I was looking at some notes I've made from the last few cases I've been involved with, and
Mhm.
there's a couple of names with the initials HP. There's Howard Phillips, an archaeologist. I cannot remember if he was the one who's dealing with Earl Grey's stuff, his belongings at his estate, or there's another name I've made a note of, which is, I think it's a Dr. Harley Patton, or a Harvey Patton.
And what was that in regards to?
I cannot remember. I've made a note of the name, but I can't remember. I've got a feeling the Howard Phillips might be the person who's overlooking Earl Grey's, who's brought in to value Earl Grey's antiques and that sort of thing.
If you would like to make me an intelligence roll, or does Mortimer remember who these people are, you can do. So Howard Phillips was one of the archaeologists you spoke to, and the other gentleman, Mr. Patton, was the antiquarian who was handling Earl Grey's estate.
Yes. Howard Phillips is actually the cousin of one of the historians at the British Museum.
Was that one of the people at the exhibition we spoke with?
Howard Phillips? He wasn't at the exhibition. Remember, we met him at the hotel he was staying at.
Oh, yes, he was the colourful archaeologist.
Yes.
Who was more for adventure than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But interesting gentleman anyway. So it could be him, or it could be this Dr. Harley Patton, who I believe, after Earl Grey passed away, this gentleman was brought in by the person who's inherited his property to value his antiquities and that sort of thing, his collection. So it could be one or the other. But at least we have some names.
Yes, and we can look into that after we're done here. Maybe tomorrow, depending on how long it takes us here.
Definitely. Do you know an Elizabeth Merriwell? She's someone I know who works at the library.
Hold on just a moment. Let me see. I know quite a few people here at this library as well, but I can't. Yes. I do know Elizabeth.
We could always go to speak with her, possibly, unless you think there'd be someone else who Inspector Barnes might have spoken with.
Well, if you wish to speak with Miss Merriwell, I can speak with the reception and see if he spoke with anyone else.
That's a good plan.
All right.
Yep.
Good morning, miss. How can I help you?
Right. Yes, I was wondering, has Inspector Howard Barnes been in recently?
He came in a couple of days ago.
Yes. Do you know what he was researching or who he may have spoken with?
Could I ask why you're asking, miss?
His wife was expressing some concern, and she asked us to follow up on some of the information he was looking into.
Okay, give me a persuasion check. You've got a bonus die here. You look very respectable, and this seems a reasonable request.
That's a success.
Oh, yes. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Inspector Barnes, he asked to look at some records in the he was looking for some births, deaths, and marriages records. I said we didn't hold them here, but pointed him over towards the archives officers. And then he was asking about books on folklore, and he was interested in, like, sent him over to the stacks. I don't think he took anything out in the end. No, didn't take anything out, but he was looking at folklore and also books on, like, witchcraft and magic, but I said we don't have really, I mean, it's just folklore and nonsense. And then I did direct him to the relevant shelves a bit, but he spent most of the day here reading stuff.
Do you know any of the specific books he was looking at?
As I said, he didn't take anything out, but let's see. Folklore of the Highlands and Islands. Cornish folk tales. And books on poetry. Folk poems and collections of such. And he was I think that was those are the only titles that I've got jotted down here that he asked for specifically. Other than that, he was just browsing the shelves.
All right. Which shelves were those? Specifically.
She gives you some specific shelf numbers.
Thank you. I will go over and start looking for the titles she mentioned, as well as anything that might catch my attention along those lines.
Okay. Give me a library use check, please.
Ooh. That's an extreme success.
Okay. So you were able to pull out the titles that he'd seen. So Folklore of the Highlands and Islands. Books on Cornish folk tales, various other books. You also see that someone has actually not reshelved all these books completely correctly. Someone shoved back a couple of books of poetry in amongst the folklore books when they were putting them back. And see that sort of trapped between the book on Cornish folk tales and the Highlands and Islands book is a book of Shetland and Orkney folk songs, as collected in the 1850s by a Captain Thomas, who was collecting stories of various ballads and tales from the far north of Scotland.
All right. I'll pull that one off the shelves and tuck it into the corner of my arm. Any of the ones that were misshelved, any of those look interesting?
Well, that was the one that was misshelved. That was the poetry book. It should be in poetry, not folk tales.
Okay, well, I will take it. Any of the other books on that shelving unit would be eye-catching along those same lines?
On this particular shelf, actually, there is one other misshelved book. It is Legends of the Thames.
All right, I will pull that one out and tuck it into my arm as well.
Okay. So as Maddie is browsing, Mortimer, you said you were going to go talk to Elizabeth.
I was, yes. Is she in today?
Yes, she's in. Her office is as chaotic and untidy as ever.
Yes, I'll just knock on the door.
Oh, one moment. Come in.
And I'll come in.
Oh, Davenport.
Good day. How have you been,
well,
Elizabeth?
Busy as ever. Mind the mess.
I think the last time I was here, you had a break-in.
Yeah, not had any break-ins recently.
I've been asked to look into something which was rather strange. About Inspector Barnes. Had you heard the news?
What news?
That he has passed away?
Oh, he's dead. Oh.
Yes, apparently he fell into the Thames and drowned.
Oh, poor fellow. Didn't know him well, but that's unfortunate way to go.
Name.
Yeah.
Exactly. But we'd been asked to look into a case he'd been involved with to tie up all the loose ends. Do you know if he visited the library in the last few days, or I'm guessing he wouldn't have come to you?
No, I've not seen him for months and months and months.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't handle much on the visitor side of things.
No problem. Well, I shouldn't keep you too long, but well, it's been a while since I've been in the library. To be fair, I've been away for quite some time. I should really leave you to it, really.
Yeah, if there's anything I can help with. Sorry. Distracted.
Oh, it's no trouble. I was just trying to chase up things with Inspector Barnes to find out what, in a way, looking for a shortcut on the case to see what information he had put together before we got involved. But
yeah, no, I'm afraid I can't really help you there.
you haven't seen him, but
Not seen
that's
him.
no problem. I'll ask around and see who he spoke with.
Yeah.
I should really leave you. You've always got loads of work to do here.
Oh yeah, well, you know how it is. Busy. Yeah.
And people miss shelves and things all over the place.
Yeah. Oh God, misshelving. That's
That's an endless job.
misshelving. That should be a capital crime. Misshelving should be.
It should
Really
be.
should just hang them outside the library gates, along with eating in the library, drinking in the library, or
Imagine if someone decided to.
I want people trying to bring smoking in the library. So they're have they not ever taken the Bodleian oath? Thou shalt not bring a lit flame into a library.
It's going to be a bit flammable.
Unbelievable.
But that's people for you.
Yes.
Anyway, I should let you get back to it, and I'll ask around.
All right. Well, good luck with it. And I'm very sorry to hear about Barnes. He was a good fellow.
Yeah, he was a good man. I never actually met the gentleman. I think I spoke. Oh, I think I may have met him perhaps once. I cannot recall. But from what I heard, he was a good gentleman. But take care of yourself, and I shall take my leave. I'll seek out Miss Carter.
You find her still sort of in the library there, sort of gathering these books together and circling around.
I have 4 books in my arms now?
Yeah, minimum of 4, yeah.
I'll want to check these ones out, see if maybe he's got anything in them. He was also looking at trying to find births, deaths, and marriage certificates and information. So
that's rather strange. I'm not sure what sort of information you can get from that.
From which? These books or the
actual the records?
Older records, not recent ones, was what he was after.
Well, let me... I'm going to take these books up to the receptionist and request that they be held for me until I'm ready to leave, and I'd like to check them out. And then I would like to go into the records portion of the library and see if he spoke with anyone there.
I'm guessing these sort of records would actually list cause of death.
Depends what kind of records he's after. But yeah, you sort of some records are kept here, some would not. Like some are still in churches, and it's not all necessarily collected in one place.
A sort of archive would keep a record of who's pulled what records out.
Yeah. If you go over to the records section. How can I help you?
Yes. Is Dr. Davenport with me at this point? We were wondering if Inspector Howard Barnes has requested to look at any specific records recently. He would have been in a couple of days ago.
You are?
Miss Martha Carter?
I'm going to ask for another persuasion here with a bonus die still. Still, yeah. Wheedling your way in?
That one's a fail.
Sorry, I'm not allowed to give out which records the police have been accessing. In case it's part of an ongoing case.
You know what case this was?
None of my business. And none of yours. But if there's any records you yourself would like to look at, let me know.
Yes. May we please request any of the records from the Albrook Sanitarium?
Births, deaths, and marriages?
Deaths, please.
Albert, do we have a location for this? Is this in London?
No, it's not in. Is it in London?
It's in Brighton.
It's Brighton. My apologies.
I mean, we don't really keep them listed by where people died as such. If you have names of records you'd like to access, or series of dates and a location, we can see about withdrawing them for you. If they were historical records, but
any of the Belfonts records, births, deaths, and marriages, then.
Any what's that surname? Belfont?
Yes. Belfont, that's a family. They previously owned some of the bigger shipping companies.
Okay. Do we have any specific Belfonts a place to start? There might be quite a lot of them in the records.
Yes. I'm trying to remember the name. I'm sorry. Augusta. If we can start there.
I will take a look and see if there's anything that is suitable for public withdrawal.
Thank you.
Please take a seat. Wait, it might take some time. I'll let you know when the records are brought up.
Thank you. And I will take a seat.
I'll also take a seat. Miss Carter, looking at the records we had seen with regards Inspector Barnes's diary, looks like it may have spoken to Charles Belfont before coming to the library.
Possibly. Or
whatever he was looking at, spoke to him about, is what brought him here.
That's why I'm looking up the Belfont records. Maybe if he did see them, he left a note inside of them or something.
We can hope, or
since he's not inclined, since this records keeper is not inclined to provide any information, unless we can get I'm sorry, it's just, it was very peculiar, the books that he was looking at in the folklore section. Merrywell, maybe she can have the records keeper here help us. Since he's not taking our word for it.
It's possible, but then again, if we know exactly what he was looking at, we could request the same documents.
Mm-hmm. Then tomorrow, I guess we're going to Albrook.
Very possibly. We'll have to meet up with Franco and Augustus and see what information we can put together and take it from there.
Mm-hmm.
It could be we end up visiting these records again, but I think we should meet up at least and see what we all have found out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that place isn't somewhere I'd like to visit. But on the bright side, I've only been there briefly, and I've not actually spoken to any of the Belfonts.
I have. If it's required, I'll go alone, or whomever goes with me can stay in the carriage.
I could potentially go there in a professional capacity. But yes, I don't think it's a good idea to go alone.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So while the two of you are waiting for the records to be brought up, we're going to go over to Franco and Augustus, who are heading down to pay a visit to the Widow Barnes. Down at the Barnes family home. So you head on down. It's not too far from the river, their home, actually. It's sort of more, I'd say, the Westminster area of London. Perhaps quite a pleasant area of London. Not quite as fancy as where the society is based, but still very, very well-to-do, very decently upmarket. And you're able to find the address in question, this many-storied townhouse. Come in.
Oh, hello.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't expecting you so soon. Children upstairs. Yes, please, come in.
Oh, sure.
Tea?
I'm not sure whether we'll be here for long, but yeah, why not? Thank you.
Okay.
No
Agatha,
bother.
could you put some tea on, please? We've got guests.
What if we should just be a quick
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you just...
it'll be a very quick trip or a quick visit. We're just want to take a look around your husband's study, and you can tell that Augustus is kind of like struggling to be polite. We were wondering if you knew anyone named Clinton Matthews.
Doesn't not ringing a bell.
Thin mustache, bald, maybe not the most charming guy.
No, that doesn't.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
doesn't ring a bell.
Very good. Very good.
Don't worry about it. We would like to look around his workplace a bit, and maybe any other places where he's been frequently. Where it's like
I
maybe
mean, this is his house. He's been frequently in most parts of the house. This is
like a favorite spot or something. I don't know.
I mean,
Did he have
that's his
a
favorite
study?
chair over there by the fire. He's got a
That would be great.
study.
Yeah. Any place where he did work.
Exactly.
I try not to bring too much of his
something.
work home, but yes. I'll show you. This is his study. It's not very big or very grand. You see, there's a desk. There's some bookshelves.
This
I'll
is
take
great.
a detailed look around. Any places where
you can also see there's quite a few things missing off the bookshelves. There's quite a few gaps on the bookshelves, and the desk is clear.
We know that the open available stuff was already taken by the police, but he might have hidden something, and information that he acquired already, knowing that it's something weird and potentially dangerous. So I would look around and try to search for hidden compartments, for just stuff that's placed on places where you wouldn't look for it.
Hey, give me a spot hidden, please.
Let us see, obviously. I mean, I have luck again, so I'm going to use that. That is 12 luck.
Okay, so searching around, you don't find any hidden compartments in his desk. His desk drawers seem to have been emptied. Someone seems to have cleared out any paperwork he was keeping here. And searching over the shelves, you find a few books of lore, a few tucked away at the very end. You find there's a few actually a fair few, like a fair stack of penny dreadfuls and serialized newspaper stories that he's sort of been keeping tucked away at the end. A few books of sort of mythology and folktale about stuff about werewolves, vampires. Some with scribbled sort of notes in the margin can't be true, and other bits and bobs. What you do find, though, as you're doing this very thorough search round, is perhaps something that whoever came in here doesn't look like they was necessarily investigating. They look like they're probably just, clearing things out. That's a card, like a business card that seems to have fallen down a crack in the edge of the desk. And there's a name on this card. And it says H. Patton, Antiquarian, and gives an address in Bloomsbury.
Look, I think I found our HP. And I'll hand it over to Augustus.
Very good, very good.
So that helped a lot already. So I guess we have the next stop.
Yeah, I don't see. Can I make a check to see if there's anything that we missing?
Yeah, you look around. You can give me a spot hidden roll if you really would like to.
I think you
Franco
did great.
seems to have done a thorough job.
Franco, you're a thorough man.
So this has been helpful. We wouldn't want to impose for too long, but you wouldn't have happened to have been told where exactly they found your husband?
Oh, they partway between hang on, which bridges was it again? They said apparently one of the boatmen saw the body floating along, pulled it out. Somewhere between Blackfriars and Southwark Bridge. About there. For those of you who can see the map.
Okay. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they said they pulled him out. It didn't get washed up. He couldn't have been in there that long.
Did you, Never mind. No.
I know the layout of the city, having grown up there. Is this corner that the Thames does there, is that like a wall? Or is this
yes. There's This corner here, there's a wall. It's the embankment. It's like that big stone wall that runs along the Thames.
Okay.
Where
So
they've got like a wide promenade on the top of it.
I got a couple of questions for the others. We've been wait, no. The was he wounded anything? Like had he been dragged across stone or something by the water?
I didn't, not that I saw when I saw the body. They said he just drowned.
So there's not like scratch marks on his clothing or anything?
Not that I saw or not that they told me. I went to identify the body and I didn't see that, but no.
Okay. I'm sorry that I'm asking so brutal questions, but
Do you know who did they tell you who was in charge of this investigation? Anybody that we could at least speak to kind of specifically on the force, like anyone?
Inspector, what was his name? It was Inspector Thorne.
Inspector Thorne. Okay. Ma'am, we have taken up enough of your time. Thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for the tea. We're gonna get going. Again, we're so tremendously sorry for your loss. Call us if you need anything.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you for trying to help. Thank you for everything you're doing.
And if you need any other help, just tell us. Well, we'll make our way.
Yeah.
And once I'm outside, I'll be telling Augustus. As far as I remember, there's only 2 bridges that he could have fallen off of without having to be dragged along that wall. Which would be the Waterloo Bridge and the Black Brian Bridge? Names are difficult.
It's not a very easy map to read. It's Blackfriars Bridge.
Blackfriars Bridge, exactly. Those 2. Those are the only ones they could have fallen off of without and been gotten at the place where he was dragged out without crashing against the embankment. So it's either one of those, and both of them are really short ways to already drown.
So if he fell in on an accident, he should have been able to make his way back. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, he shouldn't have been drowned by the time they picked him up. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well,
I mean, it might have been in the river for longer, and she just didn't see that he had, the marks.
We need to see his body.
Yeah.
We have a lot. We need to see his body. We need to talk to Thorne. We need to inspect those bridges. I don't even know what the right order is. Do you think we should go back to the society and put our heads together?
I think we can take a quick look at the 2 bridges. If we find anything there, and then go back on to the society. I think that should go quite quickly.
Okay.
If there was any really obvious things, they would have probably been seen already.
I have a theory, but I don't know if you're gonna like it.
Hit me.
I think that, well, in time-honored tradition, the second most corrupt thing in this city are the crooks. The most corrupt thing in the city are the politicians. The third most corrupt thing in the city are the coppers. So I think politicians paid coppers to take care of this copper. I say all of that very, very quietly.
Well, usually they don't. They only do that if they have a reason to do so. Because,
Well, if he's mixed up in the stuff that we're mixed up in, if he even, who knows? For all we know, he has a massive amount of knowledge about esoteric stuff whether he knew that or not. So why don't we get to those bridges, and I'll let you do your investigation.
I'm thinking he might just have poked the wrong hornet's nest.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hornet's nest at someone once. The effective weapon.
Let's go and let's take a look. Can't be more than nothing there, right? Less than nothing there. That's what I wasn't saying.
Okay. So you're heading down to the bridge?
Yeah, we'll just walk basically. We'll just take a walk across both bridges and keep the eyes open for any things we might see there. And if there's just, stuff that belongs on a bridge, we didn't lose anything.
All right, as you head over to the bridge, we go back over to the library where the records official has finally returned. Right, well, here's all the bell fonts I can find easily on a first look round. This is what we've got in the records. Births, deaths, and marriages for Belfonts. Connected to your Augusta Belfont. Assuming they're the right Belfonts. There's a bunch of other Belfonts, but these are the family you seem to be looking for.
Yes, thank you.
Are you sure there's no way you could let us see the same records that Inspector Barnes had requested?
As I said, if police are investigating something, it's their business.
If we were to request the same, if we knew which ones, we could...
I can't tell you which ones.
You can't, but
no.
It's very likely we'll speak to the police either today or tomorrow to find out information.
If they come back here with permission, then that's excellent. I'll let you see which records you saw.
That sounds
shouldn't be a problem then.
I look through the records that were handed.
So yeah, you see a stack of births, marriages, and a bunch of deaths, some of which you are already familiar with the cause of.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're taking a look over those, I'll give you some time to peruse that, as Augustus and Franco are taking a wander over bridges, and there's a lot of traffic going back and forth across the river. There's quite a lot of people, and in fact, so this is Blackfriars Bridge. The you said you're going for the.
Yeah, that would be one of them, and then basically back and forth both sides, so we can see the river side of the bridge, so we can see if there's a ripped cable, something where somebody might have held themselves and something broke, or something like something that looks like there might be.
There's nothing that catches your eye as out of the ordinary on either of the bridges.
Okay. Well then, that was not as hopeful as I had hoped, but yeah.
Hey, Keeper, how crazy does Franco look?
I mean, he's kind of this, like, I'll leave it up to more to us to determine.
This much.
Oh, actually,
Franco.
Give me a spot hidden, Franco, as you're doing this, actually.
Oh, yay, great.
As you're paying a lot of attention to bridges.
Well, that's a success.
Nothing unusual particularly about the bridges, but as you're crossing over Waterloo Bridge, you swear for a moment you saw movement, splash of something moving down in the Thames.
I'm just gonna stand there and take a look, and just for like a minute or two, just look down into the water.
While he's doing that, as I ostensibly very strangely, I'm gonna look around and see if I can see anything that's weird other than Franco. Should I make a roll?
Yes, please. Sorry, I just realised I'd got some dates wrong on my birth, death, and marriages. Added 5 years.
Oh, I gotcha.
Okay, you look down. There's things bobbing around with like a large branch maybe. And then you do spot, almost for a moment, this brief glimpse of... You could almost swear there was someone swimming down there. But then they're gone. The movement's passed. Nothing to see.
Franco, be cool. Something's down there.
No?
Franco, I said be cool, not make weird face gestures and move like that. That is the opposite of what I asked you. Oh, Franco, you're going to get me killed one day. I know it. Okay, so we're going to make a note of that because that's weird, but we're not going to jump in there. Okay?
Oh, no. We go down to the river embankment.
Okay, we're going to make our way down to the river. But act natural, Franco.
I'm always acting natural.
Franco, that is a horrifying thought. We are at the embankment. We're making our way down.
They're making your way down.
Yeah, down to the river.
Shoreline.
To the shoreline, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna say just roll me a look. This is just for a quick way of determining where the tide is at the moment.
Sure.
The higher it is, the higher the tide. The tide's fairly low, so as you go down, you can see this shoreline of gravel and mud, and like looming above you, this big grey stone wall of the embankment, and crossing like railway bridges. So the tide's not all the way down. The channel's still fairly wide at this point anyway, even at low tide. And there's boats, less big boats up here, but there's smaller boats still passing up and down the river.
Sure.
Barges carrying goods, all that sort of stuff.
I will try to find the point where the person was swimming.
You can't see anyone moving there anymore.
It's nothing.
Franco, I think that they were watching us watch it, but there's something down there.
Hmm.
This was a big...
This was what?
A big lead. I feel like this is the most important thing that we encountered today. At least you and I.
I mean, we still have our antiquarian.
That is true. Forgot about him.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible.
It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna lean down and touch the water a bit and just like whisper, just like, we would really need to know where the guy entered the river before he drowned.
Franco, are you talking to the water?
Yeah? What?
Franco, you're talking to the fucking water.
Maybe we will answer. Have you tried it before?
No.
See?
Okay. All right, I'm going to talk to the fucking water. Hey, water. Tell us your secrets.
Oh, that's a dangerous one, my friend. That's a dangerous one.
A man on a boat passing by just kind of looks over to the shore.
Are you the water? No, so mind your damn business.
The water itself gives no response because
What?
it is a river. They're not known for their chattiness. As you're yelling at the water, back over at the records room, under the slightly hostile glare of the records keeper, you got this stack of records and goes, anything else that I can help you with?
Keeper, I was just going to check, whilst we're going through these records, is there any way I could try and charm the record keeper?
Yes, you will have a penalty die at this because he does not like you. But yes, you can still do it. You've got a penalty die.
I'll try, because that's what I was trying earlier to see if he'd give us access to the same thing. But we shall see.
And while he's doing that, I'm going to look through each of the records, see if any notes were marked.
They're just I'm afraid that is a failure. He's not warming to you. He's decided that I do not like this man, and glare gets a little frostier.
If only I had a bonus roll.
If only. Alas, no. None of these are sort of marked in any way. They're just listings of, like, on this date at this certain church, this person married this person, or in this parish, the birth of this child was registered, or the death of these people was reported due to a house fire and gas explosion at the Belfont estate near Richmond.
I will make note, the Abigail Belfont, is that date correct or incorrect?
That date is correct. She died this year.
Okay, I will make note of that, and I'll just make note of that. I'll look into it a little bit later to see if she had any connection with what the rest of the family was doing.
Okay.
Okay. Other than that, thank you for your help, and I hand back the records.
Thank you. So you've had plenty of time to take a note of everything that's available to you. Okay. So having finished it with the records, where would your next stop be?
Well, I'm going to check out those books, and then do we have anything else we need to do?
I was going to chat to Elizabeth again briefly before, catching up with Miss Carter regards the books, but I'll just go and speak to Elizabeth quickly before we leave.
Davenport again.
Yes, sorry to bother you. What do you think of the record keeper you have here?
Thomas, great guy, very good at filing very well. Sticks to the rules, nothing misfiled ever. Impeccable records keeper.
Yeah, it turns out Inspector Barnes had a look at some of the records, but as you say, Thomas seems to be sticking to the rules to the letter.
Good.
In that he won't tell me which records the inspector had looked at. Which I understand it's because it's a police investigation. Is there no way we could access the same records?
If you ask, get someone from the police to come back with you.
We just need something from the police.
Yeah,
to,
if only Thomas knows, that's the only way you're going to get out of Thomas.
He seems very good at his job.
He is.
Is he the only record keeper here?
Oh, no. He works alternate days with Walter. So Walter's getting on a bit.
So it looks like we'll have to speak to the police, perhaps get something from the police, or perhaps have one of them accompany us.
I mean, records aren't my department. I have no authority over them.
Oh, it's no problem. I was just curious, but whether you knew of any particular rule that would allow us, but no, never mind. I'm sorry to have bothered you again. I'll be leaving now anyway. We've checked out a couple of books that seem unusual, but Never mind.
Well, have fun reading.
Always.
Yeah. So, as you two finish up at the library, and as Augustus and Franco are still yelling at the river, essentially, Augustus and Franco, do you have any further plans? Is there a plan for the society to reconvene, or do you have other business you would like to handle yourselves first?
I would probably offer to, but not offer. I'd just say let's go to the Esoteric Society because I know they have scones.
Also, it's probably time for food anyway.
It's mid-afternoon by this point.
We missed dinner, or no?
It's past lunchtime. Yeah.
Oh, lunch, right? Dinner is the evening one.
Oh, don't get started on that. That's a whole can of linguistic worms. Dinner is in the middle of the day in my mind, but let's.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So whatever. Point one, we need to get back to show the others what we found, to find out what they found, to find out if we can get access to the body. And once we have that, we can take a look, and if we see on some more on his body, and maybe that opens up new doors.
Franco, I agree with everything you just said. I'm just glad that you said it to me and not a body of water.
Why?
We have work. You need help. All right. I'm just gonna grab Franco and I'm just like away from the water, going to a road. We're gonna take the fastest route, the LES. And I'm just like, Franco, talk to people, not bodies of water.
Yeah, but maybe somebody that is in the body of water and could have seen from below what had happened.
You are going to see that alienness that Mortimer was talking about. That is what you're. Yep.
This, the last one of those. Fine. Yeah. Remember that doctor whose records we stole? That guy is as crazy as everybody else. So why would the person like that help?
Okay, so you would go to a different one.
I mean, not that I can go to him right now, but yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, you've always been weird. Like, your brother's been weird, you're an interesting family. But you are especially eccentric right now.
Thank you.
That is... I pull out a scone that I had been saving, and I just walk.
Okay. So if everyone heads back to the society, I think we'll pick up as everyone has returned from their various escapades and adventure across the city. And afternoon tea has been put on. Not just scones, there's sandwiches to make up for everyone's missing lunch. And a full spread waiting for you when you return.
Depending on who arrives first, I think Maddie will settle herself into one of the more comfortable chairs in the library and start diving into the books that she checked out at the library. One, reading it, and also checking to see if there was any notes or anything in the margins that any previous reader may have made.
Give me a library truth. A library... Give me a library use roll, please.
I'll probably be doing the same thing, looking over the same books to make it easier.
That's fine. We can split the books because there was 4 books, and that is an extreme success for me.
So, Maddie, Not so much sort of notes in the margin, because Inspector Barnes does not have a death wish writing in the British Library collection books. You see that someone has almost instinctively gone to turn over the top corner of a page on one of these books, and they sort of quickly smoothed it out in probably a moment of panic when they realised what they'd done to a book that wasn't theirs. And it is in the book of collected ballads and poems.
The Poems and Ballads book by Captain F.W.L. Thomas?
Yes. You need the middle initials are very important, apparently. But yes, you see that it's been turned over on one of the pages entitled, the ballad entitled The Great Silky of School Skerry.
Okay.
And I will, if you bear with me one moment, give you access to what it actually says on that page in terms of the words, the lyrics. Mortimer, you're finding quite a lot of interesting folklore and stories, but nothing that indicates sort of anyone was taking particular interest in it, or that sort of leaps out to you necessarily as related.
Miss Carter, we might have better luck with the record keeper tomorrow, should we choose to return. If it turns out he does alternate days, there's a different keeper there tomorrow. So we might be able to. Then again, otherwise, the rules indicate if they stick by the rules, we'll need something from the police to prove that we are investigating on their behalf, in which case we can pull up the same information, but we might get lucky with this one.
Yeah, we can try both avenues. First, we can go to the library and try, and then if that does not succeed, then we will go to the police. We'll have to determine who is covering Inspector Barnes's death and the case he was on prior. But this one looks interesting. The corner has been smudged a little here. And this is the story, or ballad?
It's a ballad, yes.
Yes. And do you want me to read it out loud, or no?
Do you want to?
Okay, I will read it out loud. The Great Silky of Soul Skerry. An earthly Norris sits and sings, and I she sings ba lily ween. Little ken I of my bairn's father, far less the land in where he be. Then one arose at her bedside, and a grim-faced man indeed was he, saying, Here I am, thy bairn's father, though I be not handsome unto thee. I am a man upon the land, I am a silky on the sea, and when I'm far and far frae land, I make my home in Soul Skerry. It was na weel, quoth the maiden fair, it was now will, indeed, quoth she. For the great Selkie of Soul Skerry should have come and given a bairn to me. Now he was taken a purse of gold, and he has placed it on her knee, saying, Give to me my wee young son, and take this gold as thy Norris fee. I shall come to pass on summer's day when the sun shines hot on every stone, that I will take my wee young son and teach him for to swim the foam. And thou shalt marry a proud gunner and a proud gunner I'm sure he'll be, and the very first shot that ere he shoots, he'll kill both my young son and me.
Now that's a strange ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Which book was that? Oh, it seems a bit strange. He's pulled up these books on folklore to do with the Shetland, Orkney, and the Highlands and the Islands.
Mm-hmm.
Selkies, if I recall, might be... Keeper, just quick question.
Yes?
Selkies, are they well known as a supernatural fish
I mean, you've
person
been
type thing?
like
or...
browsing through folktale books for the last sort of half hour or so. If you weren't aware before, and Mortimer is now aware, they are less fish people, more seal people in sort of Irish and Scottish folklore and mythology.
Mm-hmm.
Stories to do with seal
The stories
skins.
usually are due with women who lose their seal skins and end up married to the person who took them and bear a child. Or die.
It is curious.
Well, the end of it, I'm assuming that the Selkie that the woman speaks with gets her with child, and has a son. He comes to collect the son and tells her to marry someone. And here at the end, it says that the person she marries will kill him and their child. I wonder if this has anything to do with his case, or if this was a private interest.
Sure, it'll make more sense as we look further into this.
Mm-hmm. I'll take a piece of paper and mark the page.
Okay, you mark the page. Are Augustus and Franco back at this time, or would you like to arrive back from your river shouting escapades?
I'm sure we were probably walking in as that conversation just concluded. Salutations.
Good
We
afternoon.
found a lot, I think. We have a name. We found a business card at the home of the dearly departed. And his name was Antiquarian H. Patton. We have hand the business card over to Maddie and Dr. Davenport. We went to the site of the murder. We didn't really find or hear anything too interesting from the people that were there, but we did find out that there was a person who was his name was Quentin Matthews, and he's thin mustache, bald, kind of a jerk.
I think you're confusing
Oh, I might be confused.
two people, two different ones.
Yeah, Frank, I'll let you take it from here. You're the thinker, I'm the bone breaker.
Yeah, I think Quentin was the victim with the missing heart. And the other person, the other one was the one with the... Seems like a... we were told there was a thin mustache, bald person that talked very slowly, like somebody was dumb. Maybe condescending. Who knows? It's not really a lot to go off of. But our antiquarian is definitely the next step we should go, and we would need to see the body of our inspector. because the place where they dragged him out of the Thames, he must have traveled a curve through the river, so basically had hit the walls already. Probably.
Where on the Thames was he found? I think we've got a map here.
Yeah, one moment.
Just put a mark on this map, or that's just the pin, so we can tell.
Yeah. Let's take this pin here. This is where he was found. We watched the two bridges beforehand. There's not a lot to see there. We just went by them, in the hopes that we just stumble over something. But
where is the Belfont estate in relation to this? Is it further upstream?
Is what further upstream?
Belfont estate.
The Belfont
estate
estate
is several miles upstream of all of this.
Right.
Yes, for this one, correct?
Yeah.
The Belfont estate isn't on the map because my map doesn't extend.
Oh, it's okay. It's unlikely it was dropped
but
there.
It's a couple more bends of the river further west, outside of London proper.
No. I was just remembering the monolith and the possibility of someone being drowned there, but it's too far.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the body has some scratch marks, it could have very feasibly been that long in the water. I mean, he was drowned. Wait, was he down? He was downstream, you said, or upstream? The Belfont estate.
The Belfont estate is upstream.
Upstream. So there's technically the possibility that it was just long enough in the water in there.
Unlikely, but looking over Inspector Barnes's notes and the information we got from earlier, the CB is likely Charles Belfont. He looks like he went to Albrook Asylum to speak with him there.
Yeah.
Before going to the library. Mm-hmm. Also, you mentioned a H pattern.
Yeah.
I actually do know. I was chatting to Miss Carter earlier. I thought it could have been the HP in the notes could have been a Howard Phillips or a Dr. Harley Patton. And it looks like it could be the Dr. Well, Harley Patton would match. Basically, after Earl Grey passed away, this gentleman was the one who was looking into Earl Grey's antiques to value them for the new owners of the estate, to go through the various, we'll say, collections he may have had, be it books or antiques in his property. This was the person who was brought in to look, but it looks like he may have volunteered his services. I'll probably have to...
It might be time for you to pay him a visit. It's been over a year.
It is, but what I'd probably prefer to do first is speak to the person who's inherited the properties first, to see whether he requested him or whether he volunteered his services. And I'd rather do that first before speaking to him. But we have actually had a look at the body as well. We spoke to Dr. Peterson, and he said that Inspector Barnes had no injuries on his body. The only thing he could find out was that he had drowned. But there's also nothing unusual about the drowning, in that there were no fish or anything like that in his lungs, in line with earlier cases of the on-land drowning. So it looks like he was drowned, but whether perhaps he was held under, I'm not sure if he's... We know, well, we have seen fish people.
Yeah, today the last time, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not sure. But I think, yeah.
We know the Belfonts are tied in with that side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But in relation to the victim, you said the name Quentin Matthews. So that could be the victim. When we had a look at the body, it looks like the heart had been pulled out of the chest, or burst out of the chest. It doesn't look as if there was anything physical done to pull the heart. It looks like the heart flew out of the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's horrifying. That's actually... Keeper,
Yes.
I think I would actually make a sanity roll based
Go
off
ahead.
that, because that freaks me out.
Yeah, go for it. Make me a sanity roll.
Let's see if I'm doing okay.
Yeah. Franco as well, whilst we're at it. The others had to do one when they realised the weird bodiness.
Sure. That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's upsetting, but not enough to actually cause sanity loss in the long term.
That is that
Franco
that is
will lose 1
horrifying.
point.
Yeah, the body seemed to be wasted as well. It seemed the victim was extremely unwell before this happened to him. It looks like he had withered or wasted, perhaps. Perhaps he had some sort of unusual illness, which the Dr. Peterson hadn't seen before. But he seemed he had wasted away somewhat.
Hey, doctor, this just occurred to me, but from our recollection at the inn, we were told that the victim went up with somebody. They were never able to. No one ever saw that second person leave with them. So do you think maybe they were looking to our side of things for cure? Maybe because the only reason that popped in my head was when we were down by the water. Both Franco and I thought that we saw something swimming. I'm of the opinion that it was a something and not a someone. So do these creatures sometimes use hearts to eat, or magic, or am I just grasping at straws here?
One moment. Keeper, as
Yes?
I have gone through the entirety of the book, Monsters and Their Kind, transcribing it and reorganizing it to find easier entries.
Yes?
Would I have come across any monsters that require the heart to eat for sustenance?
It's a good question. I don't think any was specifically called out as ever just for hearts. A lot of various monsters in there.
Any that would cause the physical damage that we had seen in the
I don't think so, no.
No.
I don't think there's any that would particularly leap out to you as that sounds like that.
Okay. According to my previous research, there are no monsters that require heart for sustenance, and none of the entries of that book stated the ability to pull a heart out without pulling a heart out.
It does sound like whoever did this used some sort of magic to do so. Franco, did you, and Augustus, did you find out any more about what happened at the pub?
It was just two people. One of the victim goes up there, and then a man with a beard goes up there. They bought 2 nights. One of the maids said, and that's why they were kind of left alone to their own devices. There maybe that bearded guy left through a window. We didn't really get a whole lot. It was really just more like going there. We just eliminated information. Really.
Nobody had heard them arguing, or
they did.
anything?
They did. I mean, they didn't overhear a lot. I mean, they overheard his name, right? and not like a lot of significant information, so to speak. They were arguing. There were people that were heard. They were heard arguing in the evening, but otherwise, my brain's just like, yeah, it's a broken heart, you know. But that's kind of Oh right. I think there was a thing. There was something about do you have it?
Yeah, that's right.
In an exchange of something, but they didn't know what. Which is, you know, it's like
everything was paid, and it could have been, you know, part of any other normal transaction that happens at that type of place.
Problem is that you don't really know whether that's. I mean, that's probably important for that murder, right? But the it itself is not a descriptor that helps us in any way.
I am going to pull out the two books, the diary and the notebook, and pull open the information for the case that Barnes was on. And well, here it says he had a meeting on the 3rd with HP. And in his notes, where is it here? Blonde hair, wearing work cloak. He was seen entering a copy of the telegram found at scene. Meet me at Red Lion, the 25th. HP. So it sounds like HP, possibly this antiquarian, was looking for specific items. And it's possible that he killed this man because he didn't have what the item was, and maybe he didn't want it known that he's looking for that item.
Or he had the item and didn't want anyone to know he had it.
Sure.
Or,
cutting off the last, loose strings.
Well, we'll have to see about this. I'll meet with this Mr. Patton at some point, and we'll see whether his description matches the gentleman who was at the bar.
Well, make sure you take. Oh, preferably we'd all be there for that, but make sure you take me. I don't want you to be compromised.
I've got no plan to meet him in an unofficial capacity.
And we should not let him hear. There's too many things here that he may want.
No, I'll speak with the person who inherited Earl Grey's property, who I may be distantly related to. You never know. Mm-hmm. And make inquiries there, and we'll take it from there. He may have an office he works from, something official, and can offer my services to help with Earl Grey's stuff, should it be needed.
Yes, Keeper.
You do have an address of his office in Bloomsbury. It's on the business card for H. Patton, Antiquarian.
Yes.
It's about 2 streets over from your bookshop. He's in the neighbourhood. He's got a shop/office in Bloomsbury.
I'm assuming I've never heard of this Quentin Matthews before, that name.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Not regards the import and export or of antiques and that sort of thing?
No Quentin's coming to mind.
I'm curious about this Quentin, if we could find out who he is.
I doubt the police know who he is. They probably don't have a name for the body in the morgue.
Well, they didn't, did they? When we went to see, they had no idea the name.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know
Well,
who?
at least we got some.
Do we know who in the police is looking into this case now?
I don't, but I can go and inquire tomorrow.
We can always find out. Yes.
Yes,
someone
Peter.
knows.
Yes.
But they're not saying.
Yeah.
It'll be easy enough. We need to speak to them anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot of people to talk to, a lot of trails, a lot of paperwork, which of course will all be wonderfully resolved with a little bookkeeping and a nice tidy police arrest. No need for any monsters or horrors or sorceress nasties lurking at the end of this one.
Yet.
But, yes, I think this is probably a good place to end for today.